storms are here for the weekend. How the rest of the afternoon and evening are looking in the timeline for when these showers and storms impact those weekend plans. Up here this afternoon and this evening, and that's going to stick with us for the rest of the weekend. So across greater Cincinnati right now, most of us are staying dry. We've had that cloud cover around. Occasionally we had some showers move through the 275 loop not too long ago. What's left of that making its way throughout Highland County, and then areas south in Kentucky also seeing some rain just starting to go up right around Dry Ridge, Kentucky. We're holding on to those storm chances here throughout the afternoon because of a cold front that's going to be sliding through. That cold front likely to stall out tomorrow, leading to additional rain and thunderstorm chances through the day on Friday. In fact, some of Friday's weather looks like it's going to bring heavy rain. Also, the potential is there for some strong, possibly even severe storms once we get into tomorrow afternoon and evening. As far as this afternoon and evening are concerned, I don't think we see a ton of rainfall, but that's not to say that we can't see one thunderstorm going up that's on the stronger side. With today's potential, we do have the slight chance, to see some of our winds get a little bit stronger, bringing in some gustier winds for some of those thunderstorms that are rolling through here this afternoon and this evening. Now that we're at the 4 o'clock hour, I do think we start to see these becoming a little bit more scattered, and then heading into the overnight, still holding on to at least a chance of some rain. I'll show you how the rest of Friday is looking and the weekend coming up here in a few minutes. Sheree? At least of a few scattered showers or downpours throughout this afternoon and evening. Tomorrow brings a much better chance of seeing rain, though. I'm looking at the potential even for some heavy rain, possibly even some thunderstorms rolling through here on your Friday, and the chances don't stop there. I'll show you how the rest of the weekend is looking coming up in a few minutes. You're watching Cincinnati's WLWT News 5, and we'll be right back. Impact day because we have that potential for some scattered rain and thunderstorms this afternoon, and then we actually stick with that weather impact all the way through Sunday because we're going to deal with this soggy pattern Friday, Saturday, and Sunday as well. So right now, Dry Ridge, you're seeing most of the action. Not a ton happening along the Ohio River or north. We had some showers earlier today, but things have kind of fizzled out since then. Dry Ridge did just have a good little downpour that moved through. No thunder or lightning with this at this point, which is a little bit surprising considering how at one point how heavy that rain was, but you still have some more rain that's going to be moving through I-75 here throughout Grant County, and it's moving into Pendleton County as well. Right around Falmouth, you're going to start to see some of that rain moving in fairly soon. We still have the potential to see more showers or storms developing this afternoon and this evening along this cold front that's going to be edging into the greater Cincinnati area. So holding on to that potential for rain throughout this evening with the mindset that some of you may end up staying dry. Now, I wish I could say the same for tomorrow, but that's not going to be the case. Tomorrow looks like it's going to be a soggy day because that front actually starts to stall out, and that provides ample moisture for us from start to finish. So with today's potential for rain, not everybody sees it, but if you do end up seeing a thunderstorm, keep in mind we could have some isolated stronger wind gusts with this. I think that's primarily something that we see outside of the greater Cincinnati area, but I can't 100% rule it out for us here. And then as we get into Friday, showers and thunderstorms become more numerous throughout the day. We'll start off in the morning with a chance of some rainfall, but especially into the afternoon and evening, it becomes more widespread. Looks like we have that heavy rain threat Friday night into Saturday morning, and then there is still the potential too tomorrow afternoon that we could see an isolated stronger storm kind of working its way into some of those heavier pockets of rain. So we'll be watching out for both, but I do think heavy rain is going to be something that we're going to be talking about quite a bit tomorrow, especially. Into Saturday, I actually have some good news. If you had plans Saturday afternoon, looks like we start to see things trying to dry out Saturday afternoon and evening, but the morning time frame still going to have at least a chance for some scattered rain and some thunderstorms. So jumping right in on Futurecast throughout the day, for the rest of this afternoon and evening, that isolated to scattered rain chance is there. Then as we get into the overnight, I still think some rain is going to be a possibility. Even tomorrow morning during your drive into work, you'll still see at least a chance for some rain. But look at how much more widespread this gets tomorrow afternoon. Starting around 2 or 3 o'clock, we're talking widespread rainfall, heavy at times, and that potential that some of those cells within the rain could become on the stronger side, so we could be looking at some gusty winds tomorrow afternoon and evening as well. Then into tomorrow night, we'll still hold on to that chance for some heavy rainfall, and then actually into Saturday morning, we have the chance for some rain, but Saturday afternoon, we'll start to see things trying to dry out a little bit more. 77 right now in town. I mean, it's humid outside. You can really feel that increasing, and that's just going to be the trend moving forward. Back into next week, we're talking about the potential for some really high heat that's going to settle in. That's going to really begin to settle in really Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, but even Monday. Temperatures reach into the upper 80s. Keep in mind, though, that with the humidity, it's still going to feel like close to 100 degrees on Monday afternoon. That's going to be the trend. Rain chances are going to stick with us all the way through Sunday. A lot of today has been dry for many of us, but we are now starting to see some of those downpours developing, mostly south of the 71-75 split at the moment. We still have that rain that's moving into Falmouth and areas of Pendleton County, outside of Grant County now, but starting to see that rain chance going up for the rest of this afternoon. We'll hold on to that potential thanks to this cold front here that's going to slide through. That's going to lead to the chance for at least some scattered to isolated showers or thunderstorms here for the rest of this afternoon and evening. I can't even rule out the potential for an isolated stronger wind gust, but that's not something that I think everybody ends up seeing. In fact, there is a potential that some neighborhoods today end up staying rain-free. But as we get into the next couple of days, especially tomorrow, rain chances are looking very high for your Friday. In fact, I do think you will see rain tomorrow because in the morning, we'll at least have the chance for some scattered activity. And then getting into the afternoon and evening, rain chances begin to go up, thunderstorm potential as well. Heavy rain's a possibility, as is at least that chance to see an isolated stronger wind gust on Friday as well. Then into Saturday and Sunday for the rest of the weekend, chances start to taper off a little bit, but we'll still see at least that potential for the rest of the upcoming weekend. So Cherie, coming up in a few minutes, I'm going to time out how this is going to have an impact on a busy weekend around Cincinnati. We've got Pride, we've got Hyde Park Blast, we've got the Hamilton County Fair, all of that happening with all of this rain. I'll help you plan it all out coming up. Aim of the game for several days here. 4 weather impact days in a row. Tomorrow evening and afternoon look to be the prime time to see our heaviest rain and thunderstorm potential. I'll show you what we're looking at for totals and those impacts coming up in a few minutes. You're watching Cincinnati's WLWT News 5, and we'll be right back. Afternoon and evening. As you can see right now, things have kind of started to fizzle out moving across greater Cincinnati. So that little shower that was rolling through Dry Ridge earlier at the top of the hour, heavy rainfall over top of Dry Ridge, this is what's left of it. Not much of anything, maybe a few sprinkles over top of Pendleton County and Bracken County, but for the most part, that's really kind of started to fade away. We do have this front back behind us, still going to lead to the chance for some rain throughout the rest of this afternoon and especially this evening. And some of those storms could be, again, just strong enough that we end up seeing a gusty wind making it through. So there is at least that potential, but we're kind of in between some rainfall to our north and some rainfall to our south. We'll have to see if this ends up filling in here throughout the rest of the afternoon. If you have plans to be out tonight, if you've got games going on, anything like that, there is that chance here. There's also going to be the potential tomorrow, in fact, a really good chance tomorrow. Rain, heavy rain in the afternoon and evening, a thunderstorm potential as well. Then into Saturday, we'll still have the chance to see some rainfall, mostly first half of the day Saturday. Into the afternoon, should start to see things breaking up a little bit. And then Sunday still providing the chance for a few showers or thunderstorms moving through. Some strong storms still a possibility, mostly either today or tomorrow afternoon and evening. After we get finished with all of this rainfall, our second impact settles in, and that's going to be the high heat. That's when temperatures start to reach into the 90s very easily. Going to be the first time this season that we've hit the 90s, which is kind of hard to believe. We're almost into July, haven't even gotten there yet. But with that, we have some really high humidity that's going to settle in as well. That's going to make it feel like easily 100 degrees outside some afternoons next week. And to keep in mind, overnights are going to be in the 70s, and that's it. So we really don't get much of a break even into the overnight time frame when we typically start to cool off at that point. So ACs are going to be working in overdrive going into next week. For right now, those sump pumps is what's going to be going in your house, especially, again, considering everything that we've had over the last week or so. It's like the basement just finally started to dry out, and we're already talking about another heavy rain potential. So for tomorrow, here's that chance in the morning. Can't guarantee your morning commute's going to stay dry, so there is at least a chance for some rainfall. Afternoon and evening is when another round of that heavy rain starts to move in here. So if you do have basement issues with water, things like that, make sure those cardboard boxes are off the floor because we're looking at heavy rain, possibly around 1 to 3 inches for the weekend total. But I think a lot of that ends up falling tomorrow evening and tomorrow night into Saturday morning. Here's about 7:30 tomorrow night, and we'll still see the rain Going into Saturday morning quickly here. Again, Futurecast wants to dry us out a lot Saturday morning. I still think there's at least a chance for some scattered activity early in the morning on Saturday, but second half of the day does start to look a little bit more promising, that we start to see more breaks working in. Beyond that, there's that. Yeah, we've got some thunderstorms that are starting to make their way closer to the Cincinnati metro here. So if you're on the west side of town, you'll start to see that rain first. Currently south of I-74 as we speak. That severe thunderstorm warning that was in effect during the 6 o'clock news has expired, and those storms are moving off just north of the Ohio River now into Clermont County, right around Brown County. Some heavy downpours along 74 here and just to the south from Sundman down to Manchester and Sparta. You're seeing that heavy rain, thunder and lightning with it. You might see some briefly gusty winds, but not severe warned at this point, and I don't really anticipate it getting to that level. It's going to keep on pushing off to the east at about 35 miles per hour. So that would bring it into areas throughout the Cincinnati metro, around Reading, Norwood, up toward Forest Park, closer to about 750. So within the next couple of minutes here, about the next 15 minutes or so. Here's what's left of that severe storm. Not too much. Moving through Felicity now, some of those heavier downpours. New Richmond also seeing some heavy rain. Then we still have some heavy downpours rolling through Highland County, around Hillsborough and Marshall. We'll still hold on to the rain chance for the rest of this afternoon or evening. Tonight, I do think the chances are a little bit more scattered. Tomorrow, they become widespread. We are still looking at that heavy rain potential for tomorrow and a chance for a strong storm too as we get into tomorrow afternoon and evening. I'll show you what tomorrow's weather impact day is going to bring for us here, Chris, and how the rest of that busy weekend is looking weather-wise. Spotty storms out there right now, but as we get into tomorrow evening, here's 6:30. Look at this widespread and heavy rainfall, and this is just one little snippet of what it looks like for tomorrow evening. So I'm going to show you that heavy rain threat for your Friday, as well as the potential for more storms coming up. Chris? So some thunder and lightning with it. It's along 74 now. It's going to keep on traveling east on 74 and eventually moves into the Harrison area. So west side of town, you're going to start to see that rain picking up here soon. In fact, Lawrenceburg, Indiana, seeing that. Aurora, so are you. Some of the lighter rainfall. It's going to start to roll its way into the Cincinnati metro closer to about 8 o'clock tonight. So right around Finneytown, Forest Park, around that time frame, and I-75 and all the neighborhoods just along 75 by about 8 o'clock or so. If it's still is holding together, some heavy rain certainly is going to be a possibility. Thunder, lightning, can't rule out an isolated stronger wind gust, but at this point, a lot of what I'm looking at on radar, sub-severe. So I'm not too concerned with that for at least now. So Bethel, you're seeing some of that heavy rain. We've also got some heavy rain that's moving on top of Georgetown right now. That's going to keep on traveling further off to the north, and some of those showers still making their way through Marshall and Highland County. Other than that, things have started to, or are going to stay more so on the more scattered side for the rest of tonight. What's going to happen tomorrow, though, is we end up seeing it become more widespread. A lot more rain to our south, but I still think throughout the overnight, even tonight, we could still see a scattered shower or thunderstorm moving through. Tomorrow is going to bring us numerous showers, numerous thunderstorms throughout the greater Cincinnati area. And once we get into tomorrow afternoon and evening, I do think we're going to be looking at the potential for some isolated stronger winds. Some stronger thunderstorms, certainly a possibility and can't be ruled out at this point. But more than that, I think that heavy rain threat is certainly something that we're looking at for tomorrow. Looks like there's potential that there's a window where we pick up about 1 to 3 inches of rainfall from Friday afternoon through Friday night. That could lead to some issues with localized high water concerns. So that's certainly something we're going to be keeping a close eye on. And by the time we get to Saturday morning, still featuring at least a scattered rain chance. But then once we get into Saturday afternoon, I do think rain becomes less numerous for us. So good news if you have plans to head out to one of the many events happening around town on Saturday. So Futurecast still showing you a few showers around the area, possibly some thunderstorms through the overnight tonight. Tomorrow morning, I'm not going to rule out the chance for some rainfall during your commute into work, so that is a possibility. But here we are by about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. We start to see some rain making its way into the Cincinnati metro, areas of southeastern Indiana. And as it does so, it really doesn't stop raining throughout a lot of tomorrow evening and tomorrow night. And this is what brings that concern for heavy rainfall to greater Cincinnati. I still think it's possible that on average we're seeing 1 to 3 inches, but some communities could see as much as 3 to 5 inches of rainfall, possibly just tomorrow night alone. So this is certainly something to keep in mind, especially if you've been dealing with issues in your basement over the last week or so with how much rain we've gotten. Not a bad idea if you know your basement is prone to some flooding. If you've got cardboard boxes, make sure they're up and off the floor. Now, as we get past the weekend, we'll still hold on to a scattered rain chance Sunday. After that, we dry out, but man, we heat up in a really big way. Impact day Tuesday.